drive with his audio on only. Fellas, how we doing? Ty, go ahead and holler at the people. Let them know that you are still Ty and through at the same time.
I'm through with everybody that doesn't respect boneless wings. I said it; they do exist. That's shout out to anybody who calls them chicken nuggets. I'm coming for you. Shots fired. Pew 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 pew. But anyway, I'm just family man in it. Wire driving wireless, Bluetooth. Family man, kids going to karate, so our little time, and I get to get Guru back to talk some baseball. Y'all left me alone, had me talking baseball by myself, but I missed y'all. I held it down, and I'm ready to get back. Put me in the game, coach, skipper. I'm ready. Let's get a home run, get a grand slam going with Guru and my guy Germ So True.
And of course, the myth, the legend, Mr. Guru Jorge himself. Jorge, man, how's it going, man?
Happy to be back, fellas. 2 weeks off. Had some stuff going on, but happy to be back. And hey, Ty, put that water gun away, man. Nobody wants to hear that little pew 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 you got going in the background.
Yeah.
All right.
That ain't doing nothing for none of us there, Chief.
Yeah, they doing nothing.
You can't even protect the baby with that little pew pew pew. So anyway, with that being said, let's dive right into it. Let's start at the top because we got an interesting situation at hand here. They have actually in Major League Baseball, they have changed the actual baseball. So let's start right there, fellas. Let's talk about it because then we'll get into this as a segue to go into a bigger topic. But what are some of you guys' thoughts on the aspect of the baseball being changed after so long of it being what it was?
I like it. I like pitching duels. I like, seeing, pitchers go into sixth, seventh, maybe even the eighth inning, giving up a couple hits. I like it. Not that many home runs. You gotta think about it this way. In 2019, there was a record set for most home runs in a year, which was over 6,700. So that was, a lot of home runs in a year. That's basically one home run every 6.5 or 6.6 at plate appearances. So we're going from, let's say, what it was about a decade and a half, 2 decades ago, the steroid era, to now the dead ball era, to where we're going to see pitchers probably go a little deeper, in which we have, we'll talk about that soon, and instead of seeing a lot of runs, which is, I like it. The pitcher is the most important player in the game, and, giving them an opportunity to go deeper in the game, I'm fine with it. You usually see pitchers go 5 or 6 innings, if that. And if they can go deeper, why not?
So my question to you before I pass it over to Ty is this: is now that is there a distinct advantage that the batters are now losing out on with the ball being changed?
Yes and no, because you still got to hit the ball, right? One,
Mm-hmm.
Two. It's not wrapped as tight, so meaning you're not gonna see a lot of trajectory with the ball, or it may not go as far as it did, let's say a year or 2 years ago. But we talk about this all the time. A lot of players, swing for the fences, so the players are not gonna have to adjust, right? Instead of being a straight home run hitter, you're gonna have to learn how to hit the ball to the opposite field to get that RBI when you need to get the run in. A lot of people are swinging for the fences when you just need to get a single, and hopefully the batters adjust just like the pitchers had to. So yes and no, but it can ultimately make the game better and more balanced instead of just hitting for the fences.
So basically what you're saying is those lineups that we all put together and all those power hitters that all y'all had in y'all lineups really won't mean too much of anything. And Germ's lineup is actually going to end up being the one that makes the most sense.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Well, that's an insider. Well, we'll get to that one another day. But with that being said, Ty, if you are available, please cut your microphone on. What are some of your thoughts of the new baseball? Obviously, within the majors and how it affects the batters and even that of the pitchers?
So as far as pitchers, I think the dead ball era, as they call it, allows for better grip, which I think this is going to be a confidence booster to those who have maybe struggled, and that you're seeing like this year they're out of nowhere finding themselves like more than ever. Like the batting average is a little bit decreasing, strikeouts not so much or dramatically increasing, but they're there. But the long ball isn't as sort of rampant as it was in 2019, which for me as a fan of the sport, I notice that we were hitting record-breaking amounts of home runs. Like, it didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like pitchers sucked, or that it was just batters bringing extra power. I mean, yeah, you have some hitters that can smack some home runs, 500 feet or 450 plus, but it wasn't like it was a consistent issue in my eyes. So I'm kind of surprised. I like it as far as I agree with Guru as far as the pitcher. Nothing's better than a good pitcher's duel, and that allows for a small ball, allows teams to show their true talents as far as can team be effective defensively and position themselves well to stop timely hits. Can a batter come up and get a clutch hit, which is amazing if you've ever been to a ballpark to witness. Give me the walk off, double or single. While the home run is nice, I mean the walk off, at bat, whether it be a single, double, or a triple, is still good because now I'm looking for does this guy have good legs, and can he run outrun the outfielder's throw, or does the outfielder have a cannon, and do I get to see him really throw somebody out? So it doesn't take away from the excitement of the game to me. And I think this encourages batters to really find themselves, get back to basics, get back in the batting cage, figure out and analyze, do I have efficient bat speed? What am I looking for? Being strategic as far as paying attention to how the defensive scheme is. Are they anticipating me going to, for line drives, or trying to hit line drives, or do I see more gaps? Can I get it into certain areas? So for batters and pitchers, it allows everybody to move from checkers to chess. And if you like a game that on all sides is strategy, I'll appreciate watching the chess match up over the checkers, because you might just see somebody just get jumped and beat in a couple of minutes, whereas chess, we're going to be here for a minute and, enjoy the ride. But that's just my thoughts.
So here's a question, and I'm going to pass this to both of you guys. Here's a big thing that I think from this in general, and then I'm going to ask the question. The number one thing is, with the American League having the DH, and with the National League potentially getting ready to switch and go into the DH, what does that say about the DH position now? With that position being primarily a position of the power hitter, double, basically the extra base hitter.
Yeah.
What does that say about that position in general? Does that make it more or less the fact that we need to maybe get rid of just guys who hit the ball at a 250 average plus that are not good fielders, or does this not give us that type of feel here? Well, from you guys' perspective.
Yeah, I mean, you can now basically put it in a way to where now, growing up, kids playing baseball, you don't necessarily have to have a position. You can just be somebody that'll bat 270 and hit 30 home runs and drive in 100 RBIs, and you don't have to necessarily have a position. We can get rid of those. We can get rid of somebody that plays that position and just put them as a DH, period. And I think in a way that's bad for the kids growing up, because who wouldn't love to play the position? When I was playing baseball, I used to love playing the outfield and tracking the ball and saving runs instead of actually scoring runs. You know what I mean? It's fun, but it's just taken away from the game a little bit. I think as you're growing up as well. It's just, okay, what are they going to do? And what are they going to do in high school for the high school leagues? Is the pitcher going to hit, or are you just going to have a DH? Like, what's going to happen? So in a way, yes, we're not going to see we're going to see more of those hitters, Germ, but less of those fielders, because they're going to start using just a straight DH, I think.
So with that being said, that gives me this next question, and I was going to go to Ty. Will Ohtani become the highest paid baseball player we've ever seen, considering he does two things? Not only is he a guy who can come out and pitch well, but now we see that he can also hit not only the home runs, but he's actually a quality bat. Is this the new MLB? And is this guy going to be the front runner for more dual threat guys as far as pitching and batting?
So that is an organizational question. If we look at the Angels as an organization and their history of contracts, and I apologize if I hear any ambient noise in the background. I'm at a park right now. But if we look at the Angels as an organization, they don't mind paying money. So I can see Ohtani getting a big contract from him, record-breaking. Record-breaking for a player who's, a huge outlier in the sport and is giving, something we've never seen before. So if he earns it, I'm okay with it. Pay the man and just surround him with talent if you can.
So before we go to the next part of this, which is the pitchers in general, because it's a great segue. If Trout and Ohtani are the two headliners for that team, what else are the Angels missing? Jorge, I'm going to start with you.
Behind Ohtani, I would say pitching. They need some pitching. Look at the division they're in. You're facing the Stros, you're facing the A's. You need pitching for those lineups. That's what it is. You need pitching to go behind Ohtani. Ohtani's a great two-way player, but just like any other sport, you have a dominant player on your team, but if you don't have a good cast staff, to play with them, you're not going to win anything. Your one man can only do so much. It's not going to be like the cartoons where we see Bugs Bunny doing everything. That ain't gonna happen. He ain't gonna, pitch and then be the catcher. And you need a good cast. That's how you're gonna win.
Ty?
Well, I agree with Jorge on that one. But as far as, looking at the team and what they need, they definitely need to solidify their starting rotation. So they need to add somebody else who can take some pressure off Ohtani. Definitely need to invest in the bullpen, and you need some people who can also get some runs. So they need a little bit of everything to be successful.
All right. Now, as we get into this is the meat topic of the dish today. This is the entree served hot on the platter on a dish. So what we got? The no-hitters. We have 6 currently in the majors. With us having 6. Jorge, what's the all-time record?
7.
Wow. 7. So we should shatter that. Based on what's been going on the first 51 games of the season, what we have learned is that pitching is back in full effect. So with pitching being back in full effect and being a big part of the sport, the question to you guys is, how far will this no-hitter record be extended? Will it be extended to 20? Will it be extended to 40? Will it be extended to maybe just 8? How far do you think this record gets extended? And I'm going to start with you, Jorge.
Let's see. So we have 6 so far before Memorial Day. There's been 3 seasons that we've had 7, which was 1990, 1991, and 2012. And we have, let's say, how many games have we played so far? About 50. Mm-hmm. So I would say we're gonna have 11. I think we're gonna have 11, and we're gonna shatter the record. I mean, we're talking about the baseball with better grip. You see the movement and the action on the pitches, that the pitchers have now. It's some of it is crazy and unhittable, and due to how the ball is now, that the players aren't getting as much lift or as much distance on the ball. I think that's gonna play a factor in it as well. And don't forget, I mean, we're still pretty early in the season, and we're playing after a year which they played 60 games, in the regular season. So the players are kind of getting used to playing, 162 games again. After, you get used to playing 162 games or you'd only play 60, it kind of gets you, it takes you a little bit of time to get used to it. And early on in the season, usually pitching is what takes off or is better than hitting because the batters are catching up. But now that you got an X factor in it with the ball, I think it's just going to play a huge role. So I say we go 11. I say 11. 11 sounds like a good number. I don't think we're going to hit the 20s. That's way too high. I think another 5, no hitters would be perfect. If we hit over 15, I'd be amazed. I mean, it'd be awesome. I don't care. No hitters are fine. I like watching them, but I'd be amazed if there's over 15. So I go 11.
Ty, what you think?
So I agree with Guru that we're going to see double digits. I'm not scared of the 15. I think it could happen because we haven't even hit the summer yet, and it's a long summer in baseball. So when you are looking at what's happening right now, when you have back-to-back no-hitters happening, and it can happen at any point in this long season, why not say 15 is possible? So I think it's legitimate to set the bar at 15 and say that we have this record-breaking year and season that's going to be so memorable. I love seeing the no-hitters. It adds to the suspense and tension of the game where every at-bat matters. I mean, no team wants to be that team that had a no-hitter against them unless they're consistently the Rangers and what other team consistently gets no-hitters pitched against them. But Rangers really come to mind, but no one likes being that team. And it inspires batters to try to bring their, best, at bat, so to speak. So if you love the suspense and drama of the sport, then it's okay. If you're just a casual fan that likes the long balls and dingers and bat flips, then, it's not your time right now. That your time was in 2019 and this is what's happening, and it can change at any moment depending on who gets hot or who loses some stuff. We noticed that as far as this new dead ball era, velocity hasn't changed as far as impacting pitcher speeds. If anything, you have some pitchers where their speed is being questioned. Ohtani being one of them. So if it hasn't impacted velocity, all that's really left to say is pitchers just having a better grip and control, and if they're mastering that, then you as a batter need to figure out what are you going to do about it. So stop trying to hit for that long ball and stop trying to get that bat flip and just try to get on base. Get back to the basics.
So I think this is the thing here. I think this is one of them years, right? We seen 60 games last year. We're going to see back to 162 this year. We're at 51 games. No, we're about 50 games. Let's just say about 50 games, right? Mm-hmm. About 50 games, so around a third of the way through the season. If we took the third of the way through the season and said each third of the season we produced the same no-hitters, right? That will put us at about 18, right, Jorge?
Nope.
18, right? And you said 15 and you said 11. And I'm saying, I don't know if 20 is possible. I know it's possible. Don't get me wrong. I think 20 is like a really, really far-fetched number. But based on the stuff that we have going on right now, with the way some of these hitters are not hitting, what if this is the year that the hitters never catch up to this?
It's possible. Weren't we talking about it last year? We'll probably see the best pitching year just because it's a short year, and we saw some crazy pitching. Well, we saw some great pitching, but we're like 50 games in. We're seeing even better pitching this year, which is crazy.
Mhm.
You know, and you're right. How about if they never catch up? How about if we do see over 20 no hitters? Like you guys watching, you have no idea how hard it is for a no hitter. Like for
Every
them,
pitch matters.
yeah, every single pitch, and you have to get in the no hitter. You have to get lucky, meaning there has to be a hard hit ball at somebody at one of your fielders, and they make a good play, or they catch the ball, or they make a fantastic play, and they keep your no hitter going. You know, it's a bit of luck and a bit of skill, but it's hard. And like Ty said, for you to have back-to-back nights where there's a no hitter, or back-to-back nights where there's a no hitter watch, that's just crazy. You know, you don't even really see that in like college, you know, and to see it in pro baseball, it's amazing, and it's crazy. And if we see 20, great. You know, like I said, I don't mind no hitters, but I can't even say with a straight face that I'm going to see 20 no hitters this year. I can't.
Because it would damn near feel like it would be ridiculous just to understand that 20 games in a season went where a guy went to a place where the average guy does not go, and he went to a place that was just uncharted. That's uncharted territory, bro. This is not something that's easy. Like, listen, we talk about quarterback being the hardest position to play in all the professional sports because of all of the things you have to remember, all the things you have to know. Pitcher is right there with it.
Mm.
That position is very difficult to have to play. Like you're asking somebody to literally walk out on the mound, and every pitch has to matter. Every pitch means something. Every pitch is the difference between you winning the game or losing the game.
Yep.
That's crazy. Todd, do
And
you
we
have anything
haven't
you want to
even
add to that?
Yeah, we haven't even mentioned how, the game is being managed. Like when you have in the era of pitch count being watched and, making sure arms and shoulders and wrists are being protected, it's amazing that you have no hitters happening when, most pitchers aren't going deep into games as much as they used to. Maybe the workhorse picture comes back. That's something that's been, missing from the league for quite some time. And maybe, you get conversations of this guy being an ace again, and maybe teams having multiple aces. And that is what's needed for a championship caliber team. So why not, enjoy the moment and relish, that it's the pitcher's time, and let's bring back, big name pitchers. I'm all for it. Sign me up.
So, okay, wait, hold on. Pause for 1 second. So we're saying we want to bring back the Justin Verlanders in what was that 2014 type of years.
Can you imagine Justin Verlander in his prime, let's say, pitching now with the ball like this, with the grip, and basically not the amount of bounce or juice that it has now? That's scary. That's crazy. Like
Imagine even somebody like we talked about all of the great pitchers that we've seen over the years. Imagine Randy Johnson with that.
Wow.
Imagine Rocket. Imagine Maddox.
they were playing in the era
Pedro.
They were playing in the era to where home runs were the norm. Like they were scoring 8-9 runs, not against them necessarily, but like a night, and it was like it's normal. If they played in this era, they'd be dominant. And just to let you guys know out there how hard it is to get a no hitter, there's only been 311 no hitters in a career in MLB history. MLB history. We've played the MLB. Well, baseball has been around and taking stats since the late 1800s. So that goes to tell you how hard it is to have a no hitter.
Crunch those numbers.
Yeah, really. And we're talking 20 when the most we've seen in one season is 7, and that's 3 times. So that means we're going to match we're gonna basically have the same amount of no hitters, as those 3 years. That's crazy if that happens. That'll be insane.
Listen, as we get ready to wrap it up, I would have to say, man, the most interesting part of this is the year it just feels like the batters don't catch up. This year feels like the year of the pitchers, and these next couple of years is going to be about which batters adjust. This is why Mike Trout is so good. I want y'all to understand something. It's not very many people who can do it, but Trout is doing right now. From the perspective of, we're talking about a guy who can hit for power, can steal bases, and hit every at bat. It feels like it's a quality at bat. He is the toughest out every time he steps to the plate.
Tatis is coming. Tatis is coming.
Just relax. Just relax. Because next time I'm gonna have to hear Trav say something about Tatis, and then I'm gonna have to hear Trav say something about Okuna, and then I'm gonna have to hear this. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. But with that being said, I just, as we wrap up the show, fellas, give me the one team this year who you feel has the best pitching staff, not named the Dodgers, who can make a serious run into late October.
You want to take that, Ty?
That's a tough one, because you have to factor as far as the bullpen too, which, I want to, of course, be biased, but if I'm being honest, I might lean more towards the Padres, like as far as pitching goes. They're a well-balanced breakfast, and with what we lost due to injury, that hurts. And we'll see, how they adjust. But if I'm not picking the Dodgers, I'd say maybe the Padres.
Jorge?
I'll stay in the West, and I'll actually go with the Giants, the San Francisco Giants. They've been
bullpen though.
The bullpen is a little shady. It is, but how have they been winning ball games? How have they been beating teams with their pitching? Their bullpen is rocky, but you can add pieces to that bullpen, and it all depends on where they get their pieces from. Now, if they hang around with the Padres and your Dodgers, and by the way, the Dodgers are number 2 on the list for being no hitters against. I think you guys have like 17 all time. Just to let you know, I don't know if you knew that. So they have a shot. I'm not saying, it's a long season. They have a shot. They have a good rotation, but they have to get help in the bullpen. And I agree with your Padres, though. I just wanted to be different and not pick them. That's it.
So difficult. Always so difficult.
Let me say this to y'all as well. Does Detroit have a reliever that you look at in their bullpen that could help the Giants immediately?
Who?
Detroit.
To make a move like right now, I mean.
No, not to make a move now. Okay, so let me explain why I'm saying this. Because I was going to ask you, because I think Detroit, I think Cleveland, and I think a couple other teams are going to start trending where they're supposed to be trending. Do you go to some of these teams that are going to be trending down in the next 25 games and try to take their best relievers?
Yes.
If you're the Giants.
Yes. If you see, you're hanging. Like we talked about this. We talked about this the other day when we were talking about the trades. If you see that you're sticking around with the top 2 teams in baseball, baseball or National League, however you want to see it, and you didn't think you were going to be there, and you're missing a piece or two, Why not? I mean, you're only making your team better. And if you get a person that's under contract for, let's say, 2-3 years, and they can help you for those 2-3 years instead of just one, yeah, why not? I mean, and you don't necessarily have to get a reliever. You can get a starter that you're gonna put in, as a reliever for the playoffs. You don't have to get a reliever. You can go and get one of their second or third starters if you think he's worth it. Yeah.
Go young is what I'll say. Keep your eyes on, if you can get Josh Hader, get him. I don't think it's possible, but if you can, Emmanuel Clace, if I'm saying his last name correctly, I think he's on the Reds. I think he's only like 23, 24.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty good reliever, but there's some good young prospects out there and young relievers that you can make a move for. Don't go old. That's what I would say.
So you want to keep so basically 30 and under.
Preferably for me, like Matt Barnes maybe, but no, I mean his ERA is deceptive.
Yeah.
He has a great amount of saves for the Red Sox, but he's gotten into some jams. Same thing can be said about Aroldis Chapman, but even though his ERA is immaculate right now, he looks like he's the Aroldis Chapman we all felt he was going to be. I wouldn't, chance it, as far as with somebody who's 30 plus. I would say focus on somebody who's young.
I love
no risk it biscuit.
Anytime Chapman's name is mentioned, you see Jerem's face every single time.
I just know he likes to do this on purpose. I mean, that's pretty much what he likes to do. I mean,
I mean, if you look at the numbers though, like he looks like he's like the man right now.
Listen, my problem with Aroldis Chapman is always gonna be, bro, can we get some more pitches? Can we evolve just a little bit? Like, what happened? Like, I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that arm to say empty.
Man, you can't throw hard all your life. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, when are we gonna get a changeup? When are we gonna get a splitter? When are we gonna get something else? I mean, for a guy like him who's a power pitcher like that, I think I would probably say if he could just develop something down and away, something to give a nice counter to that power, it would be so. I mean, he would probably, bro. I don't know what would we say about him? What could we say about him? That would be probably the best. He'd be the best closer, and it would probably be by a mile. Because I don't think there's anybody who has that ability right now. Because the way 105 whenever he wants to.
Yeah.
105 though, that's kind of different. Like, but he got a steroid shot in his arm or something. Like,
that's the thing though. Like, we talk about it all the time. That's what makes relievers and starting pitchers so different, because relievers work on developing a new pitch all the time, and they remove one of their pitches in their arsenal sometimes to develop another pitch. Relievers don't tend to do that because they know that those two pitches got them here, and they're really only there for an inning now, usually, an inning and a half, 2 innings the most, and you don't really need that many pitches. Starters 5-6 pitches, relievers 3.
That's the part that bro. Say what y'all want to say, but that year that Cleveland and the Cubs were in that World Series,
mm-hmm.
The Indians went to Miller one too many times.
Yeah,
you wore him out. And that was probably one of the best pitcher performances you've seen throughout a postseason for a guy coming in the 6th inning and going to the 9th. Like, that's crazy, bro. But shouts out to Aroldis, man. I'm just going to be honest with you. Develop another pitch, bro. Just one. Please.
Just one? Just get a sinker and call it a day?
Man, he'd get one more pitch. Bro, he gets another pitch. That's another 5-10 years on his career.
Yeah, easy. And if he learns, imagine if he learns how to locate too.
Control.
Yeah.
Control in one pitch. And Geraldo Chapman is going to get into rare territory.
He said blast Janet Jackson control for a good rest of the season, maybe until it sinks in.
Nah, he need more than one season, man. He need Janet Jackson control for about 2.5. Maybe 3. maybe 3. He needs maybe 3. So I guess before we wrap up, I wanted to throw that curveball in there because I wanted to see what you guys would say. Because right now, Ty, you talked about the Giants last week, and also we talked about the Padres early in the offseason before baseball started. So I wanted to see, because I was going to ask if you guys didn't mention those two teams, especially seeing how things have been going. But the reason why I said not to include the Dodgers is because on paper, the Dodgers have the best bullpen. They have the best everything. But that's why it's on this sheet of paper.
That's why they're not in first place.
Pretty much. I mean, because paper only has but so much weight. So with that being said, final thoughts before we wrap up the show, fellas. And I'm actually coming to you first, Ty. What's your final thoughts for the show today as we get ready to wrap up?
It's still early in the season. So I don't want to make too many wild predictions, but I'm still sticking by, World Series or bust for me, just because, I said it. The summer is going to be crazy. I think either we're going to see a shift in where you see more batters figure it out or pitchers dominate. So keep your eyes, on the summer, catch a game if you can. And if you can stand the heat and if you, are feeling safe and got vaccinated, whatever, and what have you. But let's focus on the summer here. This is going to be, a full course meal. You get into your meat potatoes in baseball when you get to the dog days of summer. So we may have had, a nice salad appetizer right now, and we have our drink, but now comes the entree. So that's the dog days of summer, baby.
Jorge?
I want to go back to a little bit of what we were talking about at the beginning about the the ball and everything. Let's hope that this gives a wake-up call for the people and the kids growing up, playing baseball. You don't need to be a power hitter to get into the league. It's kind of changing because of the ball, and the rules are changing too. Why do you guys think that now in the extra inning rule they put a runner on second? You don't have to hit the long ball to win the game, to have a walk off. You can just hit a single the other way, and it's over. Game's over. So get back to fundamental, guys. For you kids watching, get back to the fundamentals. Start hitting the ball the other way. Start hitting line drives. You don't have to hit a home run all the time or you're up. Keep your eye on the ball, keep it all the way up to the bat, and make solid contact. That's how that's how you're supposed to learn. Don't hit for the fences all the time.
Get your opportunity, you take it. Otherwise, take what the next best play is, and that could be a single, a double, a pop fly, whatever it is that's there. Just take it. So with that being said, absolutely. With that being said, The Dish Scene, that's Twitter. The Dish Scene, that's Instagram. Make sure you guys check out The Dish on Facebook as the actual group. The Scene, SCEN, all capital letters on Facebook. The Scene on Twitter, scene_the. Instagram, the.scene. Also, for my Twitchers out there, we got the_scene as well. And YouTubers, notifications on. Make sure you're subscribed. Never know when we may go live. As you know, we got a lot of great things going on with sports. You never know, man. I heard in the streets that Views from the 22 might be going live soon. I don't know. I heard in the streets. I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna let y'all know what's going on. But with that being said, man, we got Jorge, the guru himself. We got Ty, Mr. Ty through himself, and Germ So True, the skipper. We out, y'all. We'll see y'all next time.